You don't think you agree, like, ever?
I can't remember why I was on last time. I think Kazia and I were on and something else.
Yeah, but last time was preparing for the event, right?
For Salesforce.
Before we go towards to. Yeah, but this time you're actually coming out because you have a stream of success.
Yeah.
Come along the way.
Yeah.
Are you happy about it?
Yeah, very happy. Excited.
Excited?
Yeah.
What's the latest one, the start date?
The latest start date, I have one Monday and then another on April 3rd.
Oh my goodness. Pretty much back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, all happening within the next 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. Cool. So welcome everybody coming back to Coffee with Kyan. This is the Make It Happen series. And then I have, most of you know her already, Erika Muse.
Hi, guys.
How nervous are you on a scale degree 1 to 10?
Like 12? I hate this kind of thing.
But we love talking about the war story and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have Rachel coming on board with us, Rachel Lane. Most of you have met her. I believe the 5th episode of this season. She's actually on the phone right now to potentially make another placement happen within the next 24 to 72 hours. So lots of beautiful things coming along. So while we're waiting for Rachel to join us, let's talk a little bit more about Epicor. What's going with the Epicor market?
So Epicor market's picking up right now. There's a little bit of a lag over the holiday season, but pretty much 9 months out of the year. It's 9+ months out of the year. It's pretty busy, so here we are.
Wow, because a lot of them, your client base are from manufacturing to retail to what other industries?
So manufacturing is definitely the majority, and then we have some subsects in retail and some in like distribution, and pretty much that's it. That wraps
So pretty much outside of that, holiday season is pretty buzzing, but I think there's always holiday time is actually a great time to do a lot of the planning, strategic type of things. So Erika, how long have you been in the Epicor market?
Since mid-October.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So lots of good stuff.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. So I stepped into Epicor at a time when it was really busy, and there was just a brief we were busy through Christmas. Definitely busy through Christmas, and then just I think the month of January we slowed down a little bit, and now we're back on top of everything.
Goodness. So out of the most recent deals, how many of them are permanent positions? How many are contract positions?
So out of the last, let's say, 5 or 6 deals, 4 of those are permanent, and like 2 of them are contract.
Okay.
There's a huge Epicor contract market that I feel is going to hit us at this time of year, just because going into the summer months and all of the summer holidays, a lot of companies that are going live like to do that over a long weekend. So we'll definitely see a lot more contract coming up soon.
Which makes spring will be very, very busy.
Yes.
So happy spring. Being a third day in the spring, I don't depend on wherever you're watching it from different side of the country.
Yeah.
If you're up north,
Sorry.
God bless. Hope you're safe, and then beware of the snow and any other apocalypse that might be associated with it. But obviously that it's a very busy time for most company, and I think economy is rolling and drumming really, really well.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the most recent adventure, as well as Rachel joining us. Hi.
Rachel.
Hey everybody, remember Rachel Lane from season 2, the 5th episode.
We were at Moonbird. Was the reminder of our surroundings.
So, and then a special shout out to Casey and Moonbird. We are in conversation right now, so hopefully have something along the line pretty shortly. So we have Erika and Rachel on board, telling us you guys, 2 of you, have lots of recent success along the way.
I mean, a little.
And also some of the challenges, curveball thrown your way that you have to overcome, step it over, get over it to make it happen.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more of the, people talk about the process, right? From the beginning to the end, you run through the race, go cross over the finish line. What have some of the curveballs that hit you along the way that you have experienced?
Well, I suppose curveball-wise, it's the expectations. You try to set all these expectations and get ahead of the game and anticipate what's going to happen, and someone can just tell you with every ounce of their confidence that, yes, I want to move to this place, I do.
Because what we're all about, we should anticipate everything, right?
Yes, my significant other's on board. What about schools? How do you feel? Is everyone on board? But then you get that curveball when reality hits that this could be real and you really are making changes, that it can get to the point where sometimes people second guess, and you really have to make them either regain their confidence.
The cold feet syndrome.
It is the jitters, the cold feet, and have them really look at those growth opportunities, not just put it on one little number right there. The opportunities for your family. Maybe your significant other is working 2 jobs and you're saying, well, that second job holds me over. I don't need to make a change. Well, let them have 1 job, Come and do the new opportunity that you can really move forward and not stay stagnant.
Because remember, there's a reason why you and I start talking in the very first place. Let's go back and review that reason. And then that's why I go through this whole process. Because to interview takes time off physically, to be there for the interview, let alone the mind of preparing for the interview, or know that, I have this interview this afternoon, or need to get ready for researching the company. The investment going in there, it can be very, very costly and taxing. Mm-hmm. So, and that's really, we're trying to help you to see the whole picture.
And not get in your own way, not letting fear stop you from something that could be really incredible. We're not calling you to take a step backwards. Right. That's not what we're there for. We're here to help you move forward and take those next steps. And they are scary. Change is scary. Change is hard, and we're gonna try to help the candidates really understand that this could be beneficial. This is something that how fast a couple years is gonna go by, as fast as the last 2 went by. So
exactly.
Yeah.
What about you?
I guess on the other side of things, some of the things that I've run into on the client side of things are, it's really exciting to be working with a new client, and it's equally as exciting to be working with...
New relationships are always exciting.
Right, they're always exciting, but it's just as exciting to be working with a client that you already know, who has a new opportunity, right? So, I get really excited every time I learn about a new opportunity. I get excited about the people I'm going to talk to, and excited about telling them about the opportunity. And then, I think it's just human nature, or at least mine, to dive right in, jump right in, and you're finding that best person. And sometimes, talking to 50 people, you're not going to come across 50 people that are great and want that opportunity, but when you do, you bring them back to the client, and I just get this big buzz. And for my client to like them just as much, and everything goes well, and you're like, man, I've just made a great match. But human nature on the other side of things is wanting the benefit of choice. And so I get short-sighted, and I don't, I'm going head first for the perfect person, not realizing that they might not want to just talk to one person. So then going backwards and going, okay, well, who else is just as good? And, giving that, that second look at the people that you've talked to, and giving them the same enthusiasm and authenticity as I did the first go around. So really what I've learned is making sure that I do that with every single person and take my time and not jump into, this is perfect.
When you know.
Yeah.
Just believe her. She knows.
I do know.
I love how passionate both of you are, and how fiery both of you are right now.
Yeah.
The excitement is very exciting. It's almost like putting a real estate perspective, and I'm sure that most of us that have dealt with realtors in the past know that the realtor's trying to show you a house, and then one that's a little bit more that's outside of your range, but maybe you'll buy it, maybe you won't, and then the one that's slightly under, but they know that you're definitely gonna pick number 1 or number 2,
right?
Rarely number 3, and that's strategic. Depends on what type of realtor you are, and then what your strategy is if you're watching this. But our end is, we know that this is a candidate-driven market in Epicor and Cerner, so sometimes that would love to give you 3 options, but there may not be second or third options out there. And then our intention, obviously, that we deliver to you. This is our commitment and promise. This is what's going to happen. We're going to help you to try to make that happen.
Right.
not just to show you 3 things so you have an opportunity. Same thing with the candidates as well. We tell you that that's the one opportunity for you because this is going to be the one after we have extended conversation about.
Right.
And that's why we're so for doing what we do, not just to promote your personal life. But
We want your current situation. We
Yeah.
want your
Yeah.
future goals.
we want to
They
better
matter.
that
Right.
without true understanding of what you're looking for from the client
Right.
to what you're looking for from the candidate. We can really help to better your current situation from client side, from no option to that one solid option, if not the perfect option
Right.
to candidate that opportunity is going to further your career. We don't do this for no reason, we're just to make money.
You don't come here for fun?
Oh, I'm having fun right now. And coffee.
It's lovely coffee. It's great. So it's great. But yeah, making it happen. Heck yeah.
So, how do you deal with those curveballs?
Gosh.
Just let it all pour out right now, because I know that you're actually dealing with one right now. That's kinda like,
one realistic, logical conversation at a time. I'm not here to pressure someone into doing something that they don't think is right for them, whether financially, future, family, location, any of those things. So, when we have the conversations, it's your best interest in mind. I care about my time, and I want to make great use of it, but at the end of the day, it's about what's best for the candidate and the client.
just
Hopefully
3 parties
together.
are involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you being the
we matter, but we would rather you decline something because it's truly not right for you and not in your heart, but make sure that we can review all the details that you may not have thought of on your own, that you might not be thinking. Maybe you're thinking, ooh, this is the salary and I thought it was okay, but now I'm thinking again and it needs to be more and they can't do it. Well, what's it going to be in a couple years after potential promotions and growth within and annual raises and things like that? Got to think farther out. And then where are you now? What's your growth potential? And is your current company valuing you, the way the next company really will?
Absolutely.
They need you.
Wow, what was the question?
How do you deal with curveballs?
Curveballs. It depends on what it is. I'm like,
Talk about that moment when somebody threw it at you, and you had one actually. We were both Ray Gilbert, and I were right there when that happened.
yeah. So there is, when you feel like you've reached the finish line, when you've put the 2 people, there is a finish line when you match a good client with a good candidate, and it's truly equally matched and mutually beneficial for everyone. But then there's always like the acceptance side on the candidate side, and like Rachel was saying, you think it's the right thing and you think you're ready for this change, and then all of a sudden the offer letter's in front of you and it's super real, it's hardcore real, right? And then you have a kind of there's a little bit of a dance sometimes with people who just need help over that hump or really need to sit down and think about it. So I think figuring out for us, figuring out what that reservation, what that hesitation is, it's good to know that ahead of time, but sometimes you don't uncover it until the end, and then it's really about I try to dig into what the reservation is, and if it's something as I've had it be something as menial as where their desk is going to be,
What color?
Right, to actually leaving someone's hometown where they grew up and where they've been raising their family and moving. Maybe it's a couple hours away, but that's still a big move. So I think you have to figure out what that is, and then still at the same time maintain our genuine attitude towards it. If it's not right, even at that point, it's still not right. But most times it is. So.
Yeah. And digging past the surface reason of it, the reason that they might spit out right then, if you just took it at face value, you'd move on.
Right.
But when you have that in-depth digging conversation like you were saying, you really get to the meat of it. Was it really over $5,000?
Right.
Because that's what you said, or is it, just got so much going on. I'm scared, you know.
I didn't think they'd make an offer.
I didn't think I was experienced enough. And
didn't think this would come along so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we had a phone call, a week or two ago, and now magically you're going to need to up and move.
Right.
We talked about it, but now it's real.
Right.
Like you said, that offer letter is that reality check.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that's something we've implemented in our processes to some other companies or methodology may call that the pre-close aspect. We have one specific way how we do it to really set that reality in there is, so this is happening, what's next?
Right.
How would you feel about it? Because that's big on us, for example. We're very different people, and then we portray ourselves very differently, and also how we react to things are very differently as well. And then, but each one of us are also growing. Like 3 months from now, 6 months from now, how we deal with the same situation may be a little different. And hopefully that because we have dealt with it at least once, and second time we know what to do. But people process things a little differently. And then most of the candidates and clients, they don't interview for a living. And we do.
No.
So sometimes we are able to potentially jump the gun a lot earlier because we have seen through the material. We know that this is what you're going to need to go through. But also to give them realistic, let me correct my word, to give them the practical experience, almost a virtual reality experience of walk you through. So what happens when you come on start date of, say, Monday, April 2nd, 2018, what's going to happen? Then they really feel like, oh, this is really happening right now. I have one thought I want to talk about before we conclude this session is, how important do you think it is to be decisive?
Ooh.
Think about all three parties, right? Clients, candidate, and us. Because I think at one point we all need to make a decision of if this candidate will want to move forward to the client, or is this a job that I'm going to take on for this client based on whatever reason. I know you just came up from another client call too. I know you're working through a pre-qualification resourcing process. Also, we need to help the candidate make a decision. Yes, phone interview is happening, start date is happening, offer will be happening Tuesday afternoon. There's no looking back at that point, or I'm not even going to waste my time to move for the offer. How important is to be decisive?
I mean, it's all we need in this life is for you to be decisive. I mean, we as recruiters, whether the 180 or the 360, I mean, we need to have that confidence to decide how to prioritize things. You know, we have to decide how confident we believe that the candidate is, how on board the client is, and so obviously we have to know and
Step one,
be
right?
able to do
I
that.
absolutely agree, because if we're not even decisive of what's going to happen, there's no control, or there's no way we can be able to guide the candidate and client forward. So, okay, number one, definitely we have to be decisive.
Of course, we want our candidates to be decisive. Like we were just talking about, there's a lot of big decisions, especially, of course, in permanent things where you're going to have to potentially relocate.
Decisions.
Thank you. The life-altering ones. The contracts, they matter. They matter, but it's not a life change. It's, what you're potentially used to doing. And so just for the candidate to be decisive in a way that they really believe it in their heart versus a spur-of-the-moment decisiveness, where in the moment it's very exciting and you're sure, but you have to really know. You have to really know and reflect. And if you spend a week thinking that you're not sure after you were sure, call us before the week is over. We can talk you through any reservations, concerns.
A week might be too long. A lot can happen
it's way
in a
too
week.
long, which is why you call as soon as you start thinking these thoughts. Don't let them masticize, on their own, because that's what fear does. Yeah. Fear grows, and then you talk to other people about your fears, and they reinforce your fears.
Magnifying what? Is that a fear really to start, or is it just a matter of uncertainty? And people are fear of the unknown. And change is hard, very hard.
So I make snap decisions personally in every possible way. I don't want to wait. I thought about it for 3 seconds, and that's enough most of the time. So I've found myself, because indecisiveness and decisiveness begins in the very first phone call with the client about the position. They change their minds as well. Everybody has the right to change their mind, and I get that. But I think that, I think it's like this really tricky like maze that we navigate, because you're at any point in time we can be told that someone has decided, and that can change. So I've try and work it like this trapdoor maze where if this happens, are you prepared to make a decision about that? And if that happens, let's be prepared to make a decision about that. So I don't necessarily, I've had to pull myself back a little bit. My instinct is not always, to think things all the way through. So I just like to be prepared so that we can say, if something comes up, if a reservation presents itself, if the client changes their mind about something, that the candidates and I and the clients and I are prepared for that. And that helps me, because that way at least I can kind of figure out what I might do, because I'll do it quick. I'll do it really fast.
And sometimes you are sure that you know what you want, and then things do change. A great example is I had a candidate go through the interview process for a specific module, to keep it vague, but just for a specific module. Everything went great. Interview's going well. Second interview. Well, in that second interview, they meet with the team of a separate module, and in these conversations it's discovered, oh wait, we thought all this time that we needed this module covered, but really now that we talked to your candidate who is good for that, now we realize that's not what we need. We realize we need someone in can focus on this other module, and we'll just train them on the one we thought we wanted. So it's just to say, that client was very decisive in the beginning, but then you learn, and you realize, oh wait, there is still something to change. So we do want the decisiveness, but we also have to anticipate that it doesn't mean it's set in stone.
That's another curveball, but obviously that the client realize that before they engage on other people's time, because it was beyond our time, they also potentially left a not so favorable impression with the candidates that have been involved, which could be more than one candidate, and realizing, this organization don't even know what they want, and now they're completely reinitiate the posting, restart the search process, and so on. So I think that having that moment of being decisive, but also know what you want, and also in order to move forward, I think we need to be able to make that precision of a decision. Is that even right?
Hey, you can
to be precise about your decision making. Yeah, and then in order to move things forward, because when we present a candidate to you for a client,
I don't know what just happened, but
that's funny. I don't know what that is.
Weird noise, if you were wondering.
If you didn't hear it.
And then because that's really bizarre.
What did
Please
that
don't
come
explode.
from?
I have no idea. It's like there's a gas line down here.
Yeah.
Hopefully you
water
can still hear us. But yes.
So yeah, and then losing that moment of we need to make a decision today versus thinking about over the weekend, or let me think about this candidate and let me look at two other things. And same for a candidate as well. We're going to help you to make that precise decision, but at the end of the day we're going to help you to look at this is the right opportunity, otherwise we wouldn't be wasting your time or our time or other parties' time in that case.
Right.
Which is why the clients only get 1, 2, or 3 candidates and not 15 or 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for, to save your time. So, what's going with Epicor? What are you working on right now?
I am working on a couple different things. Working on Epicor is a small market. There's not, a wealth of clients.
Big market, but with very limited amount of resources. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. There's definitely probably twice as many, if not more, opportunities than there are candidates. So I have a focus right now on working on a few less jobs than I have been working on, but working on getting to know more clients and more candidates that I don't already know, in order to kind of wrap my arms around everyone and connect everybody that needs connecting.
If you don't know her, look her up. Erika Muse.
Yeah.
Let her be your muse.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about you?
I am working on a ton.
Yeah, I saw your pipeline too. You're Christina.
I think that, Christina and I, the Cerner Dream Team, we do have, I think, over a dozen opportunities. So
That are on the pipeline, on the bubble line right now at this very moment, which means that the pipeline beyond that, it's insanely, crazy.
Exactly, and you know, the thing about having that many available right now is definitely prioritization. And that's what it is, because you know, and we're being nice and direct with the clients of how do you want us to prioritize this? Is it take your time, make sure they're perfect, or is it make sure they're at least close to good and get them to us now? What's the urgency? So right now it's the juggling act of making sure that we're focused on the right ones, and just keeping all those ducks in a row, interviews straight, and it's a good feeling.
Fantastic. So if you want to get in touch with these ladies on Epicor and also Cerner, call us 678-291-0081. I'm sure you'll be able to find them on LinkedIn. Also email us as well. I know your time is extremely valuable. We're going to go back to make it happen. But guys, we'll see you next week. Happy spring.
Make it happen.
Thank you guys.
Coffee
Yay. And congrats on your success.
Thank
Great
you.
week.